Hello, welcome to another video. I hope you are doing well. Today should be a fairly short video, I hope, because I will just be changing the mounts on the transmission. These are the new rubber mounts I got from BMW, pretty inexpensive, and I'm not sure of the condition of the ones in my car because I did not inspect them before, but as with everything else, I suspect that they are probably tired, cracked, or just plain bad. So it will be a good thing to change. So should be a simple process. Let's see how it goes. First of all, I'll start by removing the negative cable on the battery, because you never know. I just prefer to do that for safety. And oh no, I've revealed to the world my solution for cup holders, because as you know, there are no cup holders in the E32 and the E34 as well. And yeah, I use this cardboard tray from Tim Hortons to hold my coffee. So yeah, not a good solution. I need to get something better. Anyway, let's get started with that. This ratchet always gets in the middle position. I need to get a better one. Alright, there we go. Okay, time to jack the car. I've got my jack stands prepared in advance on all the four corners of the car. I don't like to hold the car with the jack for too long, so yeah. And I'm using the sort of cross member behind the oil pan to jack up the front of the car. I've used this place since the beginning, since I started working on the car, and it's always worked well, and there's no damage to the frame. Okay, I got the car jacked at the front, resting on jack stands. So I like to push it side to side with my hip, because if it should fall, I'd rather it fall right now than when I'm under the car. So far so good. Time to do the rear. On the rear, I use the diff to jack the car, and same as the front, never had any issues here using the diff. Jack stand. Yeah, I kind of jacked the car too high. Alright, yeah, that's better. Okay, left side. Okay, I'll grab some ratchets, 1/4 inch, 3/8, also some extensions. I don't have a long 1/2 inch, so I'll have to combine these two, and also grab 1/4 inch. I really like these socket trays, by the way, by Ernst Manufacturing, made in the USA. Very nice, because you can untwist the sockets to remove them, and then you twist to lock them, and when they are locked, they really are stuck in place, and you can move the rails like this and take them out. So that's really handy, and yeah, they don't fall. So I'll grab these 1/4 inch and a few other rails, and I get under the car. Okay, time to assess the situation. I'm in the middle of the car. Under it, and first of all, it's nice to know that the transmission pan is not leaking, because I changed the fluid and the filter last year, so that's good. There's also no leak around this connector, so that's nice. And yeah, my exhaust is rusty, So this is the cross member for the transmission, and this small nut is holding one of the transmission mounts, and the other one is on the other side. So I need to lower the exhaust, support the transmission, and then remove this bracing, and then I can change the mounts. Okay, I'd like to make a bit of slack for the cable of the O2 sensor, the white cable here. So because it's kind of tight when I pull on it, so I'll remove this bracket that is holding the cable in place. It uses a number 6 Allen, this small bracket. It's nice that they put these brackets in place because it means that the wires are well protected and they can't move all over the place. Okay, so this is the number 6 Allen. I think that's what it's called. The 6-sided sort of a socket thing. Okay, grab the bracket. Okay, I can just leave it connected on the wire, but here you can see that yeah, the wire is free. So yeah, that's good. That's better that way. Okay, so I jacked the exhaust a bit to support it because I'll need to remove the 4 nuts that connect the exhaust to the exhaust manifold at the front here, and I'll also need to remove these 2 bolts that hold the exhaust to the transmission. So yeah, I'll get started with the 4 15 millimeter nuts on the exhaust manifold. Okay, it turns out the exhaust nuts are 12 millimeter and not 15. I read online a guide, and I think it was for the M70 V12. So these should be fairly easy to remove because I changed the O2 sensor, I think last year. Alright, so this is the spring and nut system used on the M30. It's in pretty good condition, you know, considering the age of the car. This is hardly rusted. Alright, another spring, another nut. When I changed the O2 sensor, I had to remove the exhaust, and I remember that I removed the airbox and this intake boot to get access for the remaining 2 nuts because there is a metal plate over here, and it blocks the access from the bottom to remove the nuts. So I'll get rid of this and remove them from the engine bay. By the way, sorry for the poor lighting. I'm working mostly at night in the garage, and I don't have any auxiliary lights, so that's something I need to invest in eventually. Okay. Yeah. So these are my 2 nuts. Oh, sorry about the bad lighting. So there's one here, there's one on the other side here. So I'll position the camera and take off these nuts. Okay, now that the exhaust is disconnected at the front, I will remove these two bolts that hold the bracket in place. They are 13 millimeter. Alright, so this is the 13 millimeter bolt. Actually, before removing these bolts entirely, I will make them just finger tight and drop the rear of the exhaust, because I don't have another jack to hold you know, both sections. So I will drop the rear and then drop the front. Okay, so I'm at the back, and I supported the exhaust, and I left the two bolts finger tight at the front, and I will unhook this hanger on this side. Yeah, these are kind of tricky to remove. They're not fun, especially when they are stiff like this, because mine are brand new. So yeah, no fun. Okay, I think I got it started at the lip. All right. So it's now free. Here, I'll show it with a better angle. So as you can see, there's a lip here, and you need to move the hanger past that lip. So it helps if you push it this side and then just push it over towards the car and get it over the lip. So I'll just do the same on the other side. Okay, now for the other side, maybe I can try dropping the exhaust a bit. Okay. Okay, yeah, I got it now. Okay, let me show you how I went about it. So what I did is I pulled it all the way to this side as much as possible, away from this lip, and then you can fold it over the upper lip like this. Okay, now it's free. So if I lower the exhaust a bit, there you go. Now it clears the upper lip. All right. So I'll just need to undo the clamps at the back. Okay, at the rear muffler, it's pretty simple. The muffler is held with these clamps, and you just need to remove this 13 millimeter nut. And there is another one back here that I will show it in a moment. The other side has a clamp as well. It's right here, a bit further back than the other one, but very easy to reach. By the way, if you've never replaced these clamps and you want to drop the exhaust, I suggest that you buy a new set. BMW sells a kit with all the hangers and the clamps, and I suggest that you buy it, because it will most likely be all rusted and stuck in place. Okay, there's the washer and the clamp. There you go. So now the exhaust is pretty much held only with the jack. Okay, so the exhaust is still attached to the studs of the exhaust manifold. So I'll lower the exhaust and move it back slightly, and see how it goes. Okay. Okay, now I'll watch for the wire of the O2 sensor. I'm not sure if it has enough room. I can unclip it at the top here. Let me get the camera close. Because I will be dropping the exhaust entirely, I think it makes more sense to unhook the O2 sensor entirely. So I will disconnect it and also get it out of this sort of wiring cover over here using these plastic nuts. They are 10 millimeter. So yeah, I'll just disconnect the O2 sensor here. Alright, get it out of this holder. Alright. Okay, first nut removed. And there are more over here. Just remove them all. Oh, there's just another one. Sorry for the weird camera angle. I'm not really positioned conveniently to record. Okay, so this cover comes out. Throws dust into my face. Okay, now I'll get the wire out of this. There's a clip here. You can just lift it and get the wire out. So now the O2 sensor is free. Okay, now for the moment of truth, let's see if I can drop the exhaust. So I'll go check on the exhaust studs to see if there's an issue there. Okay, so the clamps that were over the exhaust studs are now free. They dropped below the studs, so that's good. But now I need to push the exhaust towards the rear of the car to clear some components at the front. So I will try to get it unstuck and push it at the back. Okay, I think I bought some space. So I think I have the exhaust lowered enough for the job. I thought to drop it entirely at first because I wanted to inspect the drive shaft and all that. But because the front of the exhaust does a there's a curve that goes up, it's hard because you need to move it back, but also to move it at an angle. So you have to move it like this, and yeah, without two jacks, it's kind of difficult. So I got myself another pile of just wood, and I will drop the exhaust on it, and it will be resting there, and at the back also I've got some wooden blocks. So yeah, let's see if that works. Alright, so that's the exhaust supported with wooden blocks. So not perfect, but it will have to do for now. So this is where I'm at. The exhaust is lowered, still significantly, I would say. It's not totally down, but it's pretty good. I have pretty much the access I need for the sort of bracing of the transmission. So I've got my jack prepared to support the transmission while I remove this brace over here, and yeah, I think it should work okay. Okay, I did not yet jack the transmission. I was going to do that because I thought I needed to remove the upper nuts first, but that won't be possible unless I remove these lower nuts, because otherwise the transmission will be stuck on here. So you know, I'm talking about the nut, this one here, but there's also one here. So it would help if I use some penetrating oil on these nuts. So I'll shoot them. Okay. There we go. All right. So the first nut and washer are removed. Okay, so this nut is really stuck, so I will try with a half-inch impact that I have, a corded impact. I only use it to take off wheels, but in this case I think it would be helpful. So let's see how it goes. Well, that was quick. Wow, gotta love power tools, eh? Nice. Okay, it is the next day. I think the penetrating oil had plenty of time to do its thing. So I'll try to take off the upper nuts. And actually, I don't even need to take them off entirely because of the open fork over here. The nut will, the bolt will just slide out of this fork. So I just need to loosen it. So let's try 13 millimeter. Yeah, I think I'll need to move the light. Okay, I think I got a good grip on it. All right. So cracking it loose is the difficult part, but then it's easier after. Yeah, now it's free. Yeah, I think I'll remove it entirely, and that would be okay, because it's very easy to turn at the moment. Okay. All right. Man, I love these wrenches. They are the perfect size. They're not stubbies, but they're not long either. They are a bit shorter than what I had before. So, yeah, really like them. They're expensive, but you get what you pay for usually, right? Okay, I did not remove the last nut because it was difficult to remove without a ratcheting wrench. So, and I just need to slide the bracket forward anyway. So I'll remove these 4 bolts, and then I think I'll be able to remove this bracing cross member thing. And yeah, and the transmission is supported with the jack. Okay, the exhaust is in the way, so for these bolts I need to use a good old wrench. Okay, last bolt. So here goes the bracket and the last bolt. Okay, so here's the support bracket out of the car. I cleaned it up a bit and you know, just made sure that the holes are free of any debris and stuff like that. And yeah, so you're looking at the old transmission mount. It doesn't look too bad. You know, there's no cracking, no you know, no tears, nothing like that. But it's only when you compare it to a brand new mount that you realize that it's quite collapsed, and the height difference is substantial. So this would result in a drivetrain noise and vibration and harshness. So yeah, definitely a good thing to change them, even if they look good. You know, just a visual inspection won't really work because there are no cracks. It's you know, it looks pretty good, yeah, as good as this one, sort of. But yeah, this is the original from 91, I think it was. Yeah, 91 it says here. So yeah, definitely a good thing to change. And one thing you must note with these mounts is that they have two types of locating tabs. So as you can see on the bracket, there is a longer tab on this side and a shorter sort of notch on this side. Okay, so there's a notch and there's the longer tab. And so if we look at the longer tab, it corresponds to a flat spot on the mount at the bottom here. See how it's flat? So it would go this way on the mount. Okay, so like this, and using the shorter key, this one uses goes into this recessed area of the mount, like this. Okay, and this allows the two locating tabs to be aligned at the right place. So I'll just tighten these. I don't have a spec, torque spec for these, but you know, the nuts are 13 millimeter. They are very small, so I'm not going to apply too much torque. So yeah, I'll just torque them down, and then I'll be ready to reinstall it in the car. All ready to go. So my lovely wife helped me lower the exhaust. I just needed just a bit of support while I lower it, and this will give me the opportunity to look at the center bearing of the drive shaft, because you know, I just want to see if there are any cracks in it, or you know, any signs of abnormal wear and things like that. So yeah, first I need to remove this sort of heat shield, and then I can look at the drive shaft. The heat shield is held in place with 6 13 millimeter nuts, bolts I mean. So I got all 5 of the heat shield bolts removed, but this one put up quite a fight. I don't know why. You know, it's just like all the others, but for some reason, when untightening it, it was very hard to turn. So I was really afraid to break it. So I used a ton of penetrating oil and unscrewed it, you know, back and forth until I got it, you know, quite a ways undone. So the heat shield is ready to go now. I just need to make a few more turns, and then I'll be able to show you what's behind it. Okay, so here's my my support bearing for the drive shaft. I can't really see from down here, so I think I'll review the footage when I'm done with with the job tonight, but yeah, so here it is. So when I was removing the heat shield above the exhaust, one of the bolts was giving me a hard time, and it was really difficult to turn. And it turns out that when I looked at the threads, one of them was badly damaged, and I did not want to reinstall it because I think the female part, you know, on the car itself is also damaged. So what I got is I thought I would get some kind of kit to clean the threads and make it better. So I got this kit from Line. It's kit, I think 2584. It's a 15 piece metric kit to rethread your bolts, and it comes with you know, female parts and male parts, and you can you know, clean up your threads. It won't cut new threads. It's not that aggressive, but it definitely cleans up. So what I did is I used it on this bolt that was problematic, and I'm not sure if you can see, but some threads were pretty jagged, especially at the tip there, and and when I tried to insert the nut, you know, it comes with a nut that cleans up the threads. When I tried to insert it at first, I could not even turn it. So I added some oil, you know, and then I did just back and forth motions, and now I can thread it pretty easily, you know, all the way to the end. So so that's a very good product. It's not too aggressive. Of course, you have to be careful and use common sense and not you know, not be too aggressive with it. You have to sort of feel the bolt as you go along. But yeah, for me, this is a really nice addition to my toolbox because you know, I deal with a lot of old bolts and nuts. So this is great. So highly recommend it, and I will do the same thing on the female part, on the threads on the car, and then I think the reinstallation should be pretty smooth. So these are the threads that I was having trouble with, and well, I put some oil on my rethreader tool, and we'll try to work it in. I can hear it's gritty, and here it definitely stops. So I'll try to work it in and fix those threads if possible. Really hope I can fix them, because this is a captive nut on the other side and you can't change it, can't replace it. Yeah, I think I'm all the way in now. Maybe you can, huh. Wow. Even with my fingers I can remove it. So it's a bit oily and dark. Maybe they put thread locker in there at the factory. I don't know. Okay, so this was the damaged bolt. Let's see how it goes. Wow. Huh. Yeah, that's pretty amazing, because it was really hard to remove it when I first removed this bolt, and the threads were badly damaged. So I can feel some resistance, but even with my fingers I can overcome it very easily. That's amazing. Nice kit from Line. Nice stuff. So I inspected the drive shaft, and there is no play, and center bearing rubber, it looks fine. It's not cracked, it's supple, and I tried turning the drive shaft by hand, and there is no clicking, no nothing, and I can feel no vibration in the car. So I will leave it alone, and you know, keep an eye on it. as I'm driving the car, but yeah, it's good for now. So I will reinstall the heat shield and the 6 bolts. Okay, so the exhaust shield is reinstalled, and now I can think about reinstalling the bracket of the transmission with the mounts. And so it should be fairly simple. The tabs are aligned at the front, and I reinstalled the top nuts already loose, but you know, just so I don't have to reach in there with my hands. And then I can just slide the mounts between the forks of the transmission. So here's one up there. Okay, like this. Nice. Yeah, the exhaust is really in the way. I wish I had removed it entirely, but I just didn't have the jacks to do it. All right, it's tight enough. All right, I think that's plenty tight. So now the interesting thing is that I have like half an inch of space between the bracket and the frame of the car. So I'll need to raise the transmission to match the bracket with the holes in the frame. Okay, so the frame is pretty much touching the bracket, so I'll reinstall the bolts. I'm going to use a bit of blue Loctite on these, just because they play a pretty important function, and I think from the factory there was some Loctite on them, because the tip was a bit darker. I'll just run these. So I found a torque spec online of 21 Newton meters. So I'll use that because I don't have any other specs for it. It's not a lot of torque. Alright, so I'll lower the transmission and see what happens. It should be all supported and fine. Alright, so other than the exhaust moving around, it seems pretty solid. Alright, so this is the right mount. Okay, this is a left mount, and it seems okay. Yeah, all good. All right, so I've got my my jack over here, and the plan is to raise the exhaust so that the front can reconnect to the exhaust manifold. I've got the rear supported on a block of wood at a good height, but yeah, I know that the rear is pushed too far back, so when I raise the front I'll need to push the exhaust forward a bit. So I'll try to do that alone. I don't have any help today, So yeah, let's see how it goes. Okay, I think I'm ready to push the exhaust forward. So I'll go to the back and try to push on the muffler. Yeah, it's not moving, so I might have to raise it some more. Actually, I don't want to damage anything at the front. That's the thing. Yeah, I need to push it forward. Okay, I think I got it free now. And I may be able to push it at the back. Alright. So I made some progress. I moved it forward. Let's see. Oh yeah, that's better. Oh yeah. Okay, so I'm not too far from the exhaust manifold, so I need to push it forward a bit more and bring up the flange as well. Okay, not bad. Making progress. Okay, so I need to bring the exhaust forward a bit, and then if I move this flange, yeah, so I need to move it forward, lower it a bit, and then match the top of these bolts into the holes over here. Okay, I'll try to wiggle it and move it in position. I need to be careful to not damage the studs, especially at the back where I can't really see them. So I'm nearly there now. The front of the exhaust is almost touching the lip of the exhaust manifold over here, and at the back one, we can't really see it from this point of view. Maybe over here. No. Yeah, so at the back I'm pretty close as well, but I just need to you know, finesse the exhaust in position. But yeah, if you are going to do this job, I highly recommend 2 jacks, so you can slide the exhaust in place and adjust the height at the front and the back. But you know, I think I'll get there. It's just takes a bit of patience. So after a lot of pushing back and forth to the sides, lifting the exhaust, I mated the downpipes to the exhaust manifold successfully. So this is the most forward downpipe. I'll try to show the rear one. Yeah, I'm not sure if you can see it. So it's all aligned and properly mounted. So now I just need to move this flange back in place. Hopefully I did not bend the studs, because that would not be fun to extract them and replace them. Alright, so pretty good. I just need to do the same at the front, and then I'll just reattach the springs and the old nuts I had, just to put some tension here while I move the jack to the back and raise the muffler and reattach the hangers. Then I can come back to the front and when I'll have my new copper nuts, I'll reinstall them. So I reinstalled the exhaust, and everything went well. And I reinstalled also the sort of covering for the O2 sensor wiring, and so I'm pretty much ready to drop the car and start it, except that I noticed that the alignment on the transmission bracket is not the same as when it was from the factory. So you can see how the shiny part on the bolt right here is different. So I have a feeling that the bracket is not at the original location with those marks. So what I'll try is to support the transmission and undo these all these bolts, 4 of them, and try to move the transmission so that it is aligned just as it was from the factory. Not sure if it's possible, but I'll try it. And yeah, and I can reach the bolts on this side simply by moving around the exhaust, and I can see them here. So yeah, let's give it a shot. Okay, so I loosened all 4 bolts, and thankfully to move the bracket, all you have to do is shift it, you know, side to side, or you know, forward or side to side, and that will sort of preload the transmission mounts. At least that's what I think. It would make sense. So you can align it correctly, push it, and then snug all 4 bolts, and then tighten them properly. Okay, now the bolts and the washers match perfectly the original alignment. So you know, that's good. Maybe I should have marked them with a paint pen. I'm not sure if it's important or not, but you know, I just don't want to take any chances. By the way, to reduce the potential for exhaust vibrations, the Bentley manual says that these brackets should be moved forward by 1/4 of an inch before tightening this nut. So 1/4 of an inch, about 7.5 millimeters. So you move this forward, and also on this side move it forward, so your hangers will be shifted forward, you know, just to prevent vibrations. So for the nuts that screw onto the exhaust manifold, you have to use a torque wrench at 89 inch-pounds, and after that you loosen the nuts by 1.5 turns. This is per the Bentley manual, and so I did this method at the bottom for the lower downpipe because you have more access, but over here I did not have any access, so I did use the torque wrench for this nut, but the one behind it, you can't really put a torque wrench on it, so I just went by feel. Should be okay. So time to reinstall the air cleaner, and then lower the car and start it up. Okay, time to reinstall the battery cable. I hope my battery has enough voltage, because I did this job over like 2 weeks. This is my phone. It actually works. There's no network for it, but technically it works. All right. So let's start the car. All right. Moment of truth. Turn off the music, the fan. Hey, car works. That's a good thing. And yeah, it seems like I feel less vibration. Huh. I still have my lumpy idle, but Yeah. In the cabin, it's definitely smoother. That's nice. Wow. Okay, so I'll go take it for a drive. So now when I put it in drive, usually I felt a sort of shudder in the cabin, but yeah, there's no more vibration, so that's great. Probably the transmission was rocking, you know, back and forth as I changed gears, but it no longer does that, so that's nice. Yeah, and the drivetrain is smoother too. And you can hear how the transmission takes a while to change gears. That's probably because my valve body is dirty. So I will be doing this job over the winter since the car is stored. But yeah, even the shifts, like first, second, third, it used to give a big jolt in the cabin, but that's no longer the case. Here I felt a bit of vibration, but it's not bad. Alright, so this wraps up the work on the transmission mounts. Not a bad job, not too difficult, but I really suggest that you have two jacks. It doesn't have to be super high quality for the second one. It's just so you can prop the exhaust, because you need to lower it. And if you can remove it entirely, it would be even better. But yeah, it's definitely an improvement in NVH, you know, noise, vibration, and harshness. And it makes a big improvement. I've already changed the engine mounts as well, and with those two sets of mounts changed, the car is almost vibration free. So it's pretty good for an old car. So yeah, I suggest that you do it if you've never changed them on your E32 or E34 or even E28. I'm sure they have mounts too. And yeah, so not too much trouble involved in the job, and big satisfaction at the end. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope it helps you tackle this job if you have to do it on your 735. So if you have any comments and suggestions, please write them in the comments, and yeah, I'll see you around in the next video. Thank you for watching, and have a great day. Woof, woof.